Yes, we're live. Took a while. Hello, everybody. Give us a 5-5. Always takes a while.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay.
Let me check. Yeah, everything is cool
What's
here.
up, everybody?
Yay, there they are. Hi, all. Great to see you. So, here we are finally. Let me just get situated for a second because we had some technical difficulties, and those are solved now.
So this is the first time I guess in a sense, I've ever gone live video on someone else's channel.
Yay!
How about
That's
that?
I have a first. How's the audio? Because we didn't even check that, but you are a bit lower than my audio.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Sure, I don't like dox myself. Put myself in front. How's that?
Yeah, better. Right? Can you guys all hear us same volume, or am I louder? Because I don't want to be louder.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah. So today we are going to talk about health and about about whatever has to do with healing and health. And first of all, I want to welcome Whitehead. And let's see, we are okay. Great, thank you all, and hello all. Nice to see you. Um, Today we're going to be talking about health and about everything that has to do with feeling better and getting better for yourself. And I was going to have a few questions, obviously, for Whitehead about his background when it comes to the health department, his experience, when it, what his experience are in that department.
Yeah, just
So
like excuse me. I'm just getting cozy here.
you
I'm
get
in
all
my
pumped.
pajamas.
Me too.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. I see you in your pajamas, all dressed up, making me look like a slob up in here. So who we got in the chat? Let me see. Hold on. We got Patricia. That's my girl. Son of a green card. What's up, my brother?
Rook, Alara,
Yeah.
hey,
We got Rook, Laura. What's up, you guys?
Christina, Brandy, hi Brandy, and Donald, hi Donald. How was your
Hey,
meeting
Playford.
yesterday?
What's up? What's up? Awesome.
Yeah, great. So yeah, I mean, being here in our pajamas, having a pajama party.
Yeah, we're having a little pajama party, but that's all right.
So wait, you need to get your mic a bit closer.
Well, if I do that, then y'all hear me mouth breathing. I don't want y'all to
Okay,
hear me
we don't want to have
breathing.
that.
Look, if I'm a little bit lower, y'all will be all right. Come on now.
All
Y'all will be
right.
all right.
So tell me your experience with the health. Well, we know about obviously the background in the hospital, but your sports
Sure.
experience.
So when I was in college, I actually was big into volleyball. I ended up while I was in college, I ended up coaching for a university. Actually, so when I coached, I was able to um, have them pay for my tuition while I went to school, which was really cool. And so it worked out pretty well. And then I got into, I've just always been into the, like a lot of people, the health and nutrition aspects of life and that sort of thing. And so just kind of circle it back around. I had a company that I owned in Miami that didn't work out too well after a couple of years. And so I had some time where I had a year or two to, as they say in the movie Fight Club, they say, once you lose everything, you're free to do anything.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my favorite quotes. And so I took to the books and learned what I could. I got into the gym. I learned how to manipulate my diet, learned how to, take care of myself and transform my body. I went from 170 pounds to now I'm about 230, 240 pounds now, right now my body percentage, my fat percentage is a little high just because of what's been going on. It's a little bit hard for me to be in the gym and be on point because I'm doing so much right now with everything that's going on. But I'm actually going to be having surgery at the end of this year. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm getting back to it, and I'll probably be down to about 7 or 8% body fat once I get to that point. And a lot of that is from manipulating my food, manipulating the timing of when I eat, when the workout happens with the so Sandra Green Card asks, what do you think about the BMI chart? Well, they're crap because see, here's the thing. Like if I go, I don't mean to change gears here. I'm just kind of chatting with you. But like if I go somewhere and they look at my height and they look at my weight, every time I go to the doctor, they tell me I'm considered obese.
What?
Yeah, and it's because I have, my muscle or whatever, I have more muscle than I do body fat, and so they consider me, So anyway, let me get back to it. So in order to get where I was, I had to study hard. I ended up training women instead of men. I just found that they were more determined and they don't act like they know everything when it comes to the gym and working out. So they were easier to train. And I ended up getting into a situation where, just from knowing some people, where I was able to train in my area the Miss America contestants. So I had a few of them. I would train them. I would take 2 or 3 girls and I would train them for however long and get them ready. And then I ended up getting into the job of preparing women for their weddings, for their wedding day. So
Great.
yeah, so I just made some money doing that on the side. And is
that like a personal trainer or much more intensive? Like
much more, because what I would do is I would actually one of my like, for instance, if the woman chose a complete package, a part of that was a $700 fee for the nutrition aspect of it. And one of the first things I would do is I go to their house and I take all the food in their house and I throw it in the trash. And then I go, and then the next day or that night, what you do is you take the customer to the grocery store, and I teach them how to shop for their food. I teach them how to buy the correct food, because a lot of what people have to realize is consistency. If you're consistent,
yeah,
and you're eating the right things, after a while it starts making a difference, and you can really change your body.
Yeah, we have these programs, like British programs on TV. We had them where you had that too, and they put like all the food on the table, and then you see all the crap that people eat, and that went like all in the bin. And then it's only veggies and stuff. But yeah, that's it. That's quite intense, actually.
Yeah, but it's difficult for me and a lot of people, I think, too, because I tell you what, whenever I start my like cutting phase, or wherever I get to a point where I'm about to lose some weight, I withdraw from carbs, and I withdraw from caffeine, and I withdraw from sugar, and um, you know, a
Yeah,
lot of people, when they quit sugar, they say it makes a huge difference, and it does. It
that's
does. And so it's almost like a negative reaction when you come off of that stuff. But once you get going, then you're good to go. But
yeah. I
might
hear
as
a
well
lot
be
of
great.
people like when they quit, for example, coffee, they get lots of headaches in the beginning, and
Oh
usually
yeah.
it's a 21 day that for you, to get in balance again with mentally, and that you can. However, you know how I did the detox like a few weeks ago, and I did it just for 1 week, like intensely. When I do that, after 3 days, there is no cravings whatsoever anymore. All your body craves, and it's like the detox from parasites in your body. All your body at that moment is asking for is what it is asking for when it needs it, and not as in a craving sense, but rather, I need food now, and it tells you literally what you need, like veggies or whatever. So and that way you get a much quicker, uh, like without the suffering, let's say, very long. But that has everything to do with the parasites, because it's the parasites that actually make you crave all these things that you usually take. If you get rid of parasites first, the whole thing is so much easier and quicker.
Well, one thing I think though, I mean, there's just some things that I'm just gonna have to live with. I'm gonna have to live with the fact that I love caffeine, and I'm just gonna have to stick with caffeine. And actually, if you don't mind, Patricia made a comment. She said, "What about juicing? My son wants me to start." So, what juicing are you talking about? You talking about with fruits and veggies? Or are you talking about testosterone? So, you gotta, if we're gonna talk about working out and being a gym rat and diet and all that other stuff, if you say juicing, that can mean two things.
What? Wait,
So,
wait, wait. The only juicing I know is like slow juicing, which I do, which is pure veggies in it, and it tastes horrific, but it's like a vitamin bomb. However,
okay.
the testosterone you said,
Yeah. So,
I never heard of that.
yeah. All right. So, I mean, a lot of people, all right, a lot of the women that you see in fitness magazines, I'm telling you, just from the people that I ended up meeting and talking to, the majority of them are all taking one form of another of testosterone, and they're
Oh,
taking shots or so. Like I think the recommended dose for a female at the moment, is you take a three quarters of a shot of testosterone every 3 weeks is doctor prescribed medication. So say for instance you just had a baby, for instance, and you're wanting to get your libido back, and you're wanting to get your energy back, and that sort of thing. What a doctor will do is they'll actually prescribe testosterone to a woman to help with postpartum depression, and also to help libido, and to help with body fat. And
wow.
some women will actually just stay on it and continue that, and it helps them in the gym immensely.
But is that also why, like these professional gym women, etc., that they have a lot of masculine traits as well at
Well,
a certain point?
that's yeah, well, that is due to the volume, or the amount of that they're taking. So you have a lot of
Also,
women.
wait, so that has everything to do with the testosterone they take.
Sure. So if the women are starting to look like men, it's because they're taking too much testosterone.
Oh, I
Yeah. So,
always
but
find that so ugly. So, I mean,
yeah. So I mean, it just yeah. Somebody talking about my mouse. I'll put it right there. So the if you take too much and you work out like a man, and you're taking testosterone like a man, you're gonna start getting those. You're gonna start
you,
getting those features. But going back to regular working out, though, um, listen, and this is a message to all the women out there. I've trained several. If you just are eating correctly, and you're dieting, and you're going to the gym, and you're working out, you will never ever ever look like a man. You'll never bulk
Yeah.
up too much. I hear that excuse so much from women that I've trained. Like, oh my God, I don't want to go in there and lift weights because I don't want to bulk up. I don't want to be bulky like those girls. Listen, those girls are bulky because they're taking shit tons of testosterone. You're not going, it is not in your genes. You don't have the hormones to be that big unless you take them synthetically. It's just not going to happen.
So why would they want to do that? I mean, is it because they go like overboard and they just are not realistic anymore because it's
Well,
kind
no, it's because there's money to be made. When you look at a lot of these women and they get involved in these um, competitions, they get sponsors, they get magazine, they get attention, and it's a sport and it's a competition, and I mean, that ends up being their niche.
yeah, okay. People pay for that apparently. I find it so ugly when they are so
Well,
masculine.
I think with a lot of people, it's not necessarily the look that they're looking for necessarily. I think with them, what people appreciate is the amount of work and
Yeah,
dedication that it took to get there, even though they are taking some things to help themselves out.
yeah.
It just
It's about the
some,
competition, the
yeah,
sports.
it's about who can look the best, and then of course you got the men that
Relative.
are just you have the unfortunately you have the abuse of the HGH and the human growth hormone and the testosterone, which gives them that distended stomach. So if
Yeah.
you ever see the big ones and they have the really large stomach, that is because human growth hormone makes their intestines grow. And so what happens is they get a distended ab section there, and that's why it looks the way it does. But anyway, I'm kind of
Yeah.
getting down
But
a rabbit hole here.
yeah, yeah, no, I get it. But because I find that quite a curious thing, just because I I I don't understand. I see so many like top sporters, like also MMA. The way
Mhm.
they abuse their body is absurd. All for a competition, the quick losing weight, gaining weight. So at the end of the day, when it comes to top sport, is actually anything but really healthy if you think about it.
Well, it's a lot like the wrestlers in that you got to think. So say for instance, you weigh 130. Okay. I'm just guessing. And you're going to fight against someone that's going to be 95 pounds. Well, you are used to being super strong at 130 pounds versus a 95 pound woman. But if you can get your weight down in time to fight her, you can be in the same class.
Well, that's
So
it.
what? Yeah. So it's very unhealthy to lose that weight that quick and dehydrate yourself and all that. It's very unhealthy. Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand, like somebody that stayed here with me because we have this famous MMA school here for all these
Sure. That's
champions.
right. I remember you telling me that. That's right.
Yeah. And so the things he does to his body, the way he eats, or then at the last moment, that last week before the match, that's like complete torture
Yeah.
he does. And so I'm like, that's so unhealthy. So I eventually got him to be a vegetarian.
Well,
But
that sort of thing over time is not sustainable. And,
no,
it can, in my opinion, I think it ultimately can make you sick. And so I just,
you mean
I,
vegetarians?
no, 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 no. I'm saying cutting your weight,
Oh,
every so often like that, and treating your body, abusing your body in that way. It's just not sustainable.
no, that's not. And those people don't get very old either.
Hmm.
And all the punches they get. But that's a whole different discussion because we are here, obviously, to, educate people a bit about how to get healthy because, in a Great Awakening, we need to have to take care of ourselves to be sure. Well, there are many people with diseases, for example. There are more gentle ways when you are, having physical problems, like yoga. Yoga is for everybody, even if you have injuries or whatever, because it's more gentle. I see many top sporters actually starting to do that now here in Europe as well. All the soccer players start with yoga. It's also to get you more flexible, but it also trains your organs. However, that aside, many people that have health issues, mental issues, sports and diet is a very, very big part of healing as well. And well, that's where Whitehead comes in, because obviously he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to diets and foods and things like that. So yeah, I guess, how do you get somebody to motivate and change?
Well, obviously, a lot of this is mental. It's a mental struggle. It's, physically you can once you get into it, what I used to tell people is getting to the front door of the gym is half the battle.
Yeah.
Once you've won that battle, you're good to go. The rest is going to be mental. And I see a lot of questions in the chat, asking questions. I'm gonna write them down and we'll tackle them later. But
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
but yeah, so me personally, so what I do is I get down. My healthiest diet is one meal a day,
Yeah, mine
and
too.
yeah, one meal a day. I basically do like an intermittent fasting. I'm basically fasting for 16 or so hours a day. I will snack if I can here and there, um, but it's very difficult to get to the point where you're comfortable with it. But I can tell you that when you've eaten 3 or 4 meals a day for years and years and years, you really don't know what you're dealing with. And what I mean by that is, so when I get down to one meal a day, everything changes for me. My skin looks different. My veins are, my arteries, not my arteries, but my veins are much more, I mean, my skin just looks a lot better.
Yeah,
And I don't mean to sound gross to everyone, but when you use the restroom, it's not an unpleasant situation. We'll just put it that way. Um, and it's a bit more regulated
yeah,
for me. And I just, and the trick is what I do is I work out, and then I eat after. So I'll work out on an empty stomach. Work
really.
out, yeah, work out on an empty stomach. That way, I use the calories that are inside of my body at that moment,
Yeah,
and and then what I'll do is I'll feed myself uh, three things, 3 or 4 things only. So it's usually grilled chicken, avocado, and a sweet potato, and that's it. But you can pick your own
yeah,
foods, what you're comfortable with, because you have to be realistic.
yeah.
But and then again, this is just for me. This works for me. It was the
Cool.
only way that I could get my body fat down to a comfortable level. And then what I ended up finding out from doing all that is that my entire lot my entire body benefited from it. I was much more clear-minded. I slept better.
Yeah.
I had tons of energy, and it just, and I would suggest that to anyone out there.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Absolutely. I read about how fasting, for example, is
Mhm.
really good. If you do like a 5 day fasting, you need to know what you're doing though. You need to research it. However, your body is going to, at a certain point, in a reset mode, and so it goes in like a dormant state.
Mhm.
And the third day is the worst, and you get lots of headaches because obviously all the toxins, everything is going to be burned and you're going to be sick. However, the fourth day, you get this euphoria and energy that is so major, and that is because your body is now used to go into this reserve mode, in this dormant mode, so all your cells are in a sleeping state, but at the same time, so you get like natural energy reserves that are coming to the surface. There's a great video on YouTube. I love it. Everybody got to see it. If you have like diseases like what's it called, reuma, Ro- um, I don't know. Anyway, Science of Fasting. Check it
Mhm.
out. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Anyway, so as for the what I did, and I discovered this by accident, and it was after I had an operation myself with a major 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, with a major infection. And I thought to myself, wait, I need to do something so my body can only focus on healing that wound. It was really, really bad, like to the point where I would be, misformed. And so, well, I cannot actually say it. I had a breast reduction because they were ginormous. So that is not
You
an
poor
easy.
thing.
Yeah, I was bent over all the. No, but I mean that is well, it's not a luxury. It's a real problem because headaches and all that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely.
and it's not an easy thing, like these women that need to have fake boobs, is just little incision thing goes in and done. No, this is like a heavy operation. um 1 kilo on one side and a kilo on the other side, so that
So,
was.
so when you came out of recovery, you changed the way you ate, or did you feel like it was?
No, well, first, obviously, I needed to, I couldn't move because, you need to be as still as possible. You're completely wrapped in because, these stitches are all the weight is on there. And so uh, eventually I happened to be allergic to the stitches,
Hmm,
you know, and
sutures, yeah.
yeah, so I pulled them out because it was so painful. And so I got a major infection, which then resulted in the next year having to do another operation because the scars were hurting so much. And then I came out, and that's when they cut away. I mean, the pain, I cannot even explain what happened, but what happened was that it all opened up and it got a major infection. And that was yeah, doomed to go completely wrong, like misformed wrong. And
Right.
so and my surgeon doctor was totally neglected and no paying attention, so I never went back to her. And I thought to myself, there is only one thing I can do. I need to make sure that my body is going to put all the energy there where I need it to heal. And so I did a detox of parasites because parasites, your body is busy fighting parasites all day long, especially after a whole life of eating crap and stuff. And whatever you take in, parasites grow in there. We all have them. However, you don't get rid of them easily. You have to do that with a certain protocols and in a way that, you go like 10 times to the toilet, you just drink a lot of water, you take nano silver. I took oregano oil, essential, and all sorts of supplements. Anyway, so within 4 days, the whole wound was closed. And so my body had all the time to actually focus on that wound. And then on top of that, I lost, and I don't know how much that is in pounds that you call. I lost 13 kilos.
Oh wow.
Uh, and so on top of that, so I went on for 3 weeks like that. And after that, I did I used only herbal, the Chinese medicine herbal stuff. And so I massaged for 8 months, and now nothing. There's not even the scars are hardly visible. But I've seen women that had the same, and they are completely misformed. But I took action myself, and with that, I discovered this detox was so beneficial for everything because I had pain in my knee, was completely gone. My skin started to look better. I
Right.
then went over to that one meal a day as well. And I took supplements to maintain. And ever since, I've never gained weight. Even if I can just eat pizza, I can eat French fries, I can eat whatever I want.
Yeah, you have your cheat meals.
But in every month I just do a light detox 3 days. I just do this quick parasite detox, and I maintain it only. And that's all I need to do. I can eat whatever I want and I don't gain the weight. Haven't gained weight in 4 years ever since. So I discovered that
Oh,
diet is not so much the most important thing of losing weight. It's actually the parasites itself that causes you to keep the weight no matter what diet you do, because your body is still fighting these parasites.
well, I don't know. Can you hear me any better? I put my
Yeah,
mic on
much
versus
better.
the. Yeah, I don't know anything about the parasites or anything like that, but I mean, and I something I'll definitely look into. But for me, I mean, I agree with you. The 1 meal a day is key for me as well. And you know, someone asked, a couple of people were talking about after menopause, women have issue with muscle loss. Um, when you come out of menopause, what I would recommend you do is check out just get your estrogen and testosterone checked to see where your levels are.
Yeah.
And if you have very low testosterone, get on some immediately. Not only will you start to gain back your muscle, but you will also feel better. There's a lot of benefits to having your hormones where they need to be. You don't realize how much you're missing, but once you get tested, see where it's at, and ask your doctor if it would be smart for you to do that sort of thing. And some people had mentioned rheumatoid like arthritis or issues like you start getting into Hashimoto's and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And certainly when you have something like Hashimoto's disease or anything along those lines, how you remedy a lot of that is going to be through diet. You want to not mess around with gluten. You want to really pay attention to what to eat. And you'd be surprised of how much that'll help you. But as far as the menopause, you've got to look at your estrogen and testosterone levels, or else you're just not going to know.
I didn't know about the testosterone at all. I only knew about the estrogen. I am past the menopause now, and but I use herbal, well, a natural herbal substitute for estrogen, and it works like a charm. But if I don't take it for a week, I notice the difference big time. However, that part, what you're saying, the muscle part, is then the testosterone that will actually increase the muscle. Um,
That's right, because what it does is it allows for the protein. I'll just be basic with it. It basically allows more protein into your muscle, and so it's almost like you still have to do the work in the gym, but it's really about giving your muscles more of what it needs quicker. Um, and then in turn, your muscle will actually burn fat while you're at rest. And so
oh,
it's a yeah. So it's like, for instance, if you're on a workout plan and you do you're working out at the gym and you're doing cardio, where your cardio is going to burn those calories right there as you're running.
yeah.
But if you're lifting and you're actually, doing some weights and whatever, while you're at rest and while you're at sleep, your muscles will actually burn calories at rest. And so it all works together, and it's definitely huge. And then of course, if your food is on point, you'll start seeing really big changes after a while.
So that is the one thing that I'm missing. I didn't know anything about that at all. How about amino acids?
So here's something I want people to listen to. Listen,
Also, wait,
supplements.
sorry. One
Oh, go
thing.
ahead.
I saw somebody that asked me about how I do my detox. Well, I'm going to do a separate show about that where I explain it all. So just so you know, that's it.
Cool, no big deal. So what Oh, so okay, and well, first before I start, when I say it'll give you muscles, it will tone you. You're not gonna be bulky and be busting out of your shirt. If you're a woman and you're just taking your normal amount, that means you're taking the normal amount when you were just at a younger age. That's all that means. So don't think you're gonna be bulky, by taking the amount that you're supposed to be taking or supposed to have in your body. Um, so let me think about where we were going from there though. What were we talking?
Amino
Okay.
acids. Amino
So that's right. So one thing I learned, and it was a big slap in the face for me, is when I started training some women that were in what's called NPC, and it was basically competition like bikini or physique or that sort of thing, where they go on stage in a bikini and they do their thing. Well, networking with people around there on, hey, what's the best diet? What do you think? And the consensus around the board in the industry was no supplements. None
really?
of them. You pretty much don't take supplements. So if you see somebody in a magazine or you see somebody on a video saying, hey, look at here, I'm taking this and this is how I get here, it's just for money. It's not. They're sponsored by these people, but they really, the what you need to be doing is, or the best supplement in the whole world that's going to help you is just food.
Yeah.
Just good, clean, regular food and consistency. Supplements are not going to take you over the edge. Now, I can see if you wanted to have like maybe something that suppresses your appetite initially to help you get down to something like what I'm doing, or something that's going to give you caffeine, or something that's going to give you like a pre-workout. I'm big into pre-workout drinks and that sort of thing. Those are cool. But, for me, it's just food, all day food. That's the best thing you could be doing, is just good, clean food, no supplements whatsoever.
Well, I take the supplements more like, because it's either hormonal or it's for a detox, but not indeed that kind of supplements to substitute things that are in food, you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Most people don't realize is that when you take vitamins, for the most part, or if you take supplements, half the time you really don't know what's in them. And second, you're going to urinate them out
yes,
regardless.
I
So
agree.
you're not going to, you know,
I
yeah. So
actually,
Donald says, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
no, go.
Donald says, you mean weight loss supplements? Yeah. You
Oh, yeah.
don't need weight loss supplements. You don't need any thermogenics or anything like that. You really don't. If you get to a point where you're eating, like for instance, you have a meal, only use the portion of meal the size of your fist, for instance, like a portion control type situation.
Mm.
So if you're eating something decently something real healthy at a frequency that's not too much, we're eating, I don't believe in the whole 6-7 times a day crap. But if you're eating, once or twice, a day, and that's it, and you're getting yourself some good physical activity throughout the week, you do not need weight loss supplements at all. You really don't. They don't do anything for you. You just need good, clean food. That's
what
it.
what I experienced is, for example, when I do my detox, obviously I need to eat, but I don't eat. What I do is I slow juice everything, so I don't get the fiber so much, but only. This is what with slow juice is so great. You can put spinach in it. You get all the vitamins, pure vitamins, out of the leaves, right? So you can actually put in there, like in one glass, more than you usually take maybe in a week.
Hmm.
And so that's what I do every day. I take two of these glasses, like with slow juice. And on top of that, I put a little bit of linseed oil in it, because that binds immediately within the body. And so you don't pee it out like that. It's just, it goes straight in the bloodstream. So my detox is not a torture where, you're, well, if you do it the first time, maybe you get headaches, because obviously your body needs to get used to all that health stuff. But what I notice is that instantly you get so much energy and so much, you feel positive, you feel good, and at the same time you're busy getting rid of all these parasites and toxins that you have in your body at that moment. So it doesn't have to be torture. Obviously, I don't eat any solid foods that week, which is a bit of torture in itself, but well, that's just a week. And what is a week if you can actually lose, whether it's for losing weight or just for overall health? is always a good thing to do. And
Mhm.
you immediately see it in your skin and everything. So in a week like that, I take the portions out of food in vitamins and minerals and all that, which you usually don't even take in a month,
Mhm.
and that is great because your body starts to boom with energy and vitamins. And so that's what I do. But like I said, I will do a episode about how I do it. It doesn't mean it's for everybody, though. I'm not a doctor. So, but for me this works, and I discovered it accidentally, and it wasn't even to lose weight, but man, did I lose the weight, and I never got it back, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's once you get into once you lose the weight and once you get in that zone, it's much easier for you to keep the weight off, and it's much easier to maintain. So I just wanted to go into a question or two in here in the chat. So they asked what kind of physician would be able to look at that your level. So the last person that I knew that was prescribed basically just went to their regular um, normal physician, and they prescribed it. You could certainly speak to your OBGYN if you have a great relationship with them, and speak to them about your levels. But it's, and Judy asked, what about slow metabolism? Are many meals helpful? So you have some diets where they swear by 8 small meals a day and your metabolism goes through the roof. And that does work for some people. It does. But for me, it's just not sustainable. I don't have that kind of money, and I don't have the time to, pre-make my meals like the way that some do. And that's just not the route for me.
No.
My metabolism goes up when I'm in the gym and I'm eating clean, and I'm not eating as much. Now, I will say though, you really you do need a cheat meal once every week or two. And the reason why is because not only is it good for your brain, and that you are um, rewarding yourself, and so it's much easier to deal with. But what it also does is it will mess with your metabolism and actually trick it. And so,
Really?
yeah, you ultimately will come out losing more weight later because you have a cheat meal versus having no cheat meal.
That's interesting, because I heard that people that do a fasting, they what they do the day before, they eat like all the crap in the world, and somehow that is helping during the fasting. I don't know if
Right.
that.
Your metabolism just gets confused. So it is what it is. So Julia asked, am I in the process of losing weight? No, I am. I have not started my diet yet. I'll probably start in September, around in there, and then I'll probably have my surgery around November, December time. So I eat whatever the heck I want right now. I really don't care at the moment. But I'll shift gears once I get all that scheduled
Well,
and all of that.
obviously you're now like seasoned in that, so I guess for you,
It takes practice. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
It's
So,
still hard for me. I
well,
mean, it's still hard for me. I have to make myself do it. I mean, I have to like look. Sometimes I have to get a picture out where I look like total crap and just stare at it, make it my background on my phone, and be like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh
Do
my
that.
God, I'm a fatty. Let me get let me diet.
I do the same. But here's my tip. What I do, and because I have like my ex says, the spine of a gummy bear, so I don't have much discipline. However, so how do I prepare and to get my mindset to do something? I discovered that I start a few weeks ahead in my head. I start already thinking, I need to, or I want to, actually, I phrase it. Words are so important in your mind. So I want to start training, and then
Hmm.
first thing my mind does is like, you know, and then I do this every day. And every day I start thinking about it, and I already start thinking of the exercises I'm going to do. And then on goes for the whole week. I do that. And then by the time I'm 2 weeks ahead, within the second week, I start deciding when I'm going to start. And then when I keep visualizing, constantly adding stuff that I visualize to the point where I actually start craving it. And that's when I start, and that's when there's no going back, and I don't stop. And it works because really I have no discipline. If I'm going to say I need to train, I'm going to start Monday, it's always Monday for everybody. Or
Sure.
the 1st of January, I then purposely go start training at the 24th or the 23rd of December, because, I don't like these, what you call it, that society puts these things in it, but it never works. So anyway, then it works when you actually start preparing mentally and visualizing and adding stuff. So first you say, I want it. Then you start to say, okay, I want to do these exercises, because what do I want to work on? Same for food change, by the way. So, and then mentally and visualizing, you change that pattern over 2 weeks. And by then you already have set a date, and that's when you do it. That's the best way I have discovered that works for me, and it does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to offer to tell everyone sort of what I do as far as training someone that has not really been in the gym or doesn't work out. I was going to give a little trick that I do, if that's okay with you.
Yes, please.
All right. So some people just don't, know what to do once they step into a gym. So they're like, okay, where do I start? What do I do? A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll go to the treadmill, or they'll go to a machine where they can just sit down, look at the picture, and then, look around at everybody else. So here's what you do. I'm going to give you a little tip. So a lot of men and women that are in there that are absolutely killing it at the in the weights and doing whatever, it's because they've copied each other, or they've been in there and they have a routine. So here's what you do. Before you go into the gym, get on YouTube, okay, and look up exercises for what body part you want to do that day. Okay, so say for instance we're doing arms. I always work out biceps and triceps on the same day. I always work them out together, because it's like a push-pull. When I'm working one, it actually affects the other. And so I get a really good workout that way. And if I want to say I'm working out chest or something like that, I don't have to worry about my arms getting tired when I'm trying to work out my chest. So anyway, so say for instance, you want to work your arms. What you do is you go on YouTube and you find 3 exercises and 3 exercises only on YouTube. And what you do is you go into the gym, just do those 3 to start out. Because you got to realize it's more than just like, okay, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do whatever. You also have to go in there, figure out what weight works for you, how comfortable do you feel lifting in front of a mirror? There's a lot to it that people don't realize, that it hits you right when you go into the gym and you kind of panic a little bit.
Well, yeah, I know that all too well.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, it's funny that you say this, because I know this so well. You go in this gym and you're like, gosh, all these people here, they do this every freaking day. Now, what am I
That's right.
do?
So this is what you got to do. You get what I always tell the ladies is you have to build your repertoire. So what you've got to do is so you have your first 3, okay?
Yeah.
So then next week comes around, you do the same thing with other body parts on different days. All right. So anyway, so the next week comes around, say it's Monday. Hey, you know what? It's arm day. Yeah. I already know how to do the 3 that I chose before. That's easy. I've got that down. I spent an hour in the gym just doing arms, and I have my 3 exercises. So what you do is then before you go, you pick a 4th. You add 1 to it. So after a few weeks, by the time you look around, you've got an entire routine, and you're going in there thinking about your routine. You put your hat on, you put your headphones on, you don't talk to a damn person. You walk in there, you knock it out, and you know what? A person that started out like you is looking at you like, holy crap.
Yeah.
They know
Yeah,
what the hell they're doing.
but you still need to know the form. If you've never done it before, you still need to know the form and which weight are you going to use for the first time, because you might overdo it,
Right.
stuff like that.
But you know what? But see, people make fun of some of the gym folks for looking in the mirror and stuff like that. But the mirror is your best friend.
Yeah, true.
When I'm in there doing the lifting or whatever, I use the mirror to make sure I'm doing it right, at least at first. And then once I get comfortable where I don't need it anymore, now it's different when you have your phone out and you're taking selfies and you're posting them, and that's, that's different.
I never understood that part, but yeah,
Well,
obviously.
shoot, I'll tell you, I do it. Listen, shoot, sometimes I'll break it out and get a little selfie here and there, and actually on another social media platform, I actually have like this a folder with pictures of nothing but workout motivation stuff for myself.
Well, yeah,
So
but that's for yourself. It's not like you're going to bombard Instagram with, but these same people, like I love Instagram for that, where you got these quick exercises that people do, and it's great. However, what I'm talking about is the narcissistic kind of.
Oh, no, I got you. Yeah, you got some people that they won't work out. They won't burn a single calorie to do anything in the gym, but they'll spend 20 minutes trying to get the right picture and the right lighting.
Well, they train their wrist.
Yeah, there you go. To get the thumb action going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, once you have that routine down, that's the easy part. The difficult part is your food and the mental aspect of keeping it together and being consistent. You have to do it longer. My what I used to tell my clients is 3 months is the primer. So 3 months is what you gauge it on. So if you start working out a certain way, you do it for 3 months, and at the end of that 3 months, you change it up and you shock your body and you do something else. And every 3 months, that's correct. Every 3 months you make a change, because your body will get used to whatever it is that you're doing. And so you won't benefit anymore. So you change it up.
Oh, really? So it's
that's right. So basically what I'm doing is I'll go 3 months where I'm doing low weight and a lot of volume. And then after that 3 months, I'll stop doing that and I'll do heavy weight with less volume. So I don't know. So every 3 months, you change it up.
In a sense.
No. Well, it depends on it. I go down in repetition, but I go up in weight.
Okay.
So say for instance, I'm used to bench pressing 225 pounds 10 or 15 times. I'll go back heavy and do my 1 rep max is 435 pounds. So what I'll do is I'll do 430 one time and then go down 315, 225, that sort of thing. But I get that heavy 1 rep max in to shock my body, if that makes sense. And then after that 3 months, you switch back again.
Because I always do the same exercises, always.
Yeah. Well, see, your body gets super used to it and you don't benefit anymore. So you have to switch it up.
I like that tip. So, because I combine fitness and yoga because I do lots of stretching as well and flexibility, because I like that. And I've been a dancer and I like to keep that flexibility in there as well. Plus, it's also better that you don't get these injuries. And I hate cardio, but the intermittent what's it called?
Fasting.
Cardio. Yeah, no, the cardio. So
yeah.
So that I do because yes, it's harsh, but it's quicker than going to stand on a treadmill. And so, but I do everything at home, and so I don't have, unfortunately, I just can't go to the fitness. Things are expensive as hell here.
They can get that way down here as well. I mean, and you guys, you have to forgive me. I fidget like crazy when I'm sitting in a chair. So if I'm moving around and like fidgeting with stuff and messing with stuff, just ignore me.
Nobody fidgets like me, so that's great. We got two fidgeting persons here.
Yeah, I mean, I sit here and like I'll probably rearrange my shirt 50 times just because it drives me crazy, you know. But sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
I do the same thing exactly. Like,
So says, do you stretch before and after lifting? No, I do not. I actually no. There's a difference between warming yourself up and stretching. So what I'll do is I'll take a small weight and I will warm up different body parts, you know, like I'll do rotator cuff, or I'll do whatever to get my joints and everything moving and get warmed up. But there's no need for me to stretch for working out.
why
There's
not?
no need. There's just not. I'm not running. I'm not doing a high intensity workout. What I'm doing is I'm focusing on muscles specifically, and I don't need to stretch them in order to accomplish that or to benefit.
All the time, every single time. If, for example, if I'm done with my legs, I just do my yoga stretching like very intensely on the legs, and well, that's what I do. But is it like, is it? I mean, does that? Is it not beneficial when I do that?
Well, so I actually read a study. I'll have to dig and find it for you. But I think I want to say it was a powerlifting or a lifter. And what they did is they had the person stretch before a lift, and then the next day they didn't, or something like that. I forget how it went. I'll have to find it for you. But stretching actually made them weaker, and had them they actually performed less in their lifting than when they did not stretch. And they said that there's just no reason for you to stretch, you know, a whole bunch before you do something. Now, if you have joint issues, or if you have range of motion issues that you've got to, you feel better about, that's how you warm up your body, as you get everything moved around and that sort of thing. That's okay. I mean, that makes sense. But, actually getting out there and stretching a ton, it's not going to be real beneficial. And unfortunately, you're going to spend a lot of time. Now I'm speaking about in the gym. Okay. This is strictly in the gym. When you're in the gym, and if you're out there stretching too much, it's just going to take time away from your workout as well. You're going to be in there too long.
Well, doesn't that make a difference as well? Because if you want, for example, like these long muscles, like for example, the ballet dancers, yeah, they have like a different longer muscles. They stretch a lot. So that's where I use it for. So
Arnold Schwarzenegger had a trick with his lats and his like, say for instance, your lats right here, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. So say you're going to you're trying to expand them and make them larger. What actually he used to do is he would stretch them as much as he could to try to get them as large as possible, because he felt like that was helping him out. Now, I personally, that's just not my goal. I'm not going to get that large, and I'm certainly not going to be doing ballet moves or anything like that, but so anyway, that's just, now certainly if you're going to do a sport, certainly you might want to stretch, you want to, but getting warmed up is different from stretching. If you look at football players, they do stretch, but they also warm up. And so
to warm your muscles up in order to, I don't know, be more agile, what you call it.
Well, for me in sports, I think for me it's more. Yeah, I see that. I see Rook. She's cutting up in there, but yeah. So I think for the stretching, it's to avoid injury, or like a pulled muscle and that sort of thing. But anyway.
Do you think that cardio is always necessary if you do fitness?
No. So when I got down to my lowest body fat, I did zero cardio.
Oh,
I was just lifting and eating correctly.
so that's when you get those dry muscles, right?
Yeah, I was pretty dry. I think I was very vascular. Um, but and two, people have to be careful. You don't want to be what's called skinny fat. People that that are always doing cardio but never lift.
Ugh.
They think that they're helping themselves out, but it's not exactly like that. So you have to be careful with
Yeah.
too much cardio.
Yeah, that's like these people that do cycling. You know, they have these long muscles, but I don't know, somehow I don't like those bodies, to be honest. But that's the personal thing. Anyway, so um, obviously you are very much, for you it's easy compared to somebody that never has done sports. Like for example, I and really I was really lucky. I had like the perfect body. I didn't even need to sport. I did dance as work, but I didn't need to train anything. People thought I was in the gym all day long, and I wasn't, because I just had natural a good body. However, that not didn't came in handy when obviously later on I got onto antidepressants. I gained 35 kilos, and obviously I cried, and I didn't know what to do because I never did anything of dieting or sports or whatever. So only like after my 30s I needed to find out how the hell that works. And I still, I just do what I think is good, and that's it. But
Right.
I still struggle with that because well, I find other ways to lose the weight, but the toning, the sports, that thing, yeah, that's quite a difficult one. And so I'm just imagining people that are watching and that never done much of sports and are not fit at all. How do you recommend they start? Because it's not like you could
Well,
read
well,
it.
like I told you, well, like I was saying, you have to, number one, in my opinion, it's great to have an accountability partner. So yeah, if you have a friend, just have them, help you stay accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be 45 years old next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like super young, but anybody can do this, and
Yeah,
you can start by just getting your food right and starting at the gym with just 3 exercises and slowly build your repertoire of stuff, and you have your workout after a while, and learn from people, assimilating success. People that are in the gym that are having success, that look great, do what they do, copy what they do. And like I said, getting to the gym doors and walking in is half the battle.
yeah.
Get in there. Once you're in there, do what I'm telling you to do, and you will be fine.
But is there a difference? Like, for example, we've got all ages in here. We've got people that, yeah,
You obviously have to listen to your body, and you have to stay with what you can do and be smart about it.
Yeah.
But and it's the same with the dieting. If you're older and you're on medication, and you have to eat a certain way, well,
Yeah.
you have to do a dig. You have to find out on your own yourself what works for you. And you can try other people's diets, you can try other people's methods and just see what happens. And then once you fine tune what you got, and if you go into the gym and there's certain exercises you love to do, and you're in there doing your thing, I mean, you'll be fine.
So, because the way that I prepare, like mentally visualizing all that, in that time, you can already start with, changing your food slowly.
Mhm.
That's what I do, and then slowly I work towards it, so it makes it a lot easier to actually start, because it's all about visualization as well. For the first time, you have to convince yourself, you have to set your mind, put your mindset to what you want to do, and that makes it a lot easier to do. I'm going to be 51 in 15 days.
Yeah, definitely don't look it.
Interesting number. Well, that's because obviously I also went completely natural with everything I use. I don't use any chemical stuff on my skin.
Mhm.
uh, and that makes a huge difference. Remember, with our age, right? One time there was a time that you went to the drugstore, and there is just, you can choose out of two deodorants or shampoos, and now we've got a wall full of them. And so that is, like, if you think about that, that is marketing. It's full of chemicals, and the fact that you start using it, you need it afterwards, because your whole skin is so full of chemicals, and the pH is so off balance, hence why you start stinking. And so you need more and more. And the same with your hair, it gets dirty because it's the shampoo with the chemicals that actually makes it dirty. If you actually go natural, I wash my hair once a week because I use only natural. Does it do all the foaming stuff? No, it doesn't, because it's natural. And but it saves me money, because I don't need all these products so much. And it's so important to watch that. Also,
Right.
obviously, I do have an advantage as genes. I do. It's probably the Asian heritage where I do have an advantage. But uh, I look younger now than I looked 10 years ago. And that's all because I started going all natural, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's sort of along the same lines of you know not taking supplements, and not drinking protein shakes or any kind of meal replacements and stuff like that. Going natural and doing that sort of thing, it really makes a difference.
Also, like you say, the supplements, how many of those supplements, especially those cheap ones, they're just made in labs and they're synthetic.
Yeah, you have no idea. Listen, if you have, sorry, you have to excuse my camera stuff here and everything I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, go ahead.
But if you go into a store, or you go into your cupboard and you look at the back of your protein shake bottle, half
Yeah,
the stuff in there you're not going to recognize. It's just like you have no idea, um, you know, what's in them, and there's a lot of fillers, and it really has a negative effect on your body.
absolutely. Well, that's it. I always look on it. If I don't understand anything what's written on there, I'm not going to take it, because I just don't know what it is. And there was, when I was in Bali in 2016, and there was this huge, what do you call it? Uh, um, it's a advertising board, and
Like a
it's,
billboard.
yeah. Uh, if I can't eat it, I won't put it on my body. If I, and it's true. Everything that I put on my body, or I can eat actually, because it's all made of natural herbs and all that. So
Right, right.
that's the way I look at it. And as for the supplements that I do take, they are, yeah, you can, what's in it. You can research it if it's a difficult word, but you know. It's also more expensive, but the whole reason it's more expensive is because it is extracted from plants and herbs and all that. So if you find supplements or vitamins or whatever, in these cheap drugstores, then no, they have no effect whatsoever. At the end of the day, you still spend more money, because you just pee them out, and
Right.
uh, and it's all synthetic. There's nothing natural about it, so it's not even something that your own body has. So why would you take that? Obviously I discovered that myself. But yeah, that's how you reverse age and health, and even diseases.
Yeah, and to add on top of that, there seems to be a good conversation going in the chat about beer and alcohol. So I love a good cold beer. I just do. And I love sipping on whiskey. Okay.
I do
But
that.
yeah, but unfortunately, that's one thing that ends up being like a cheat meal for me. I have to get rid of it only because when you drink, the alcohol actually will kill testosterone in your body, and it will actually lower it the more you drink. And and there's a lot of empty calories there and that sort of thing. But I tell you what, there are benefits to drinking here and there that for me, cardiovascular wise, and I get benefits from that. But I tell you, where I live, it's super humid and hot, and so I tell you what, whenever it's super cold, there's nothing like having a super cold beer in your hand. You know what I mean?
Of course, you can always cheat. I mean, nobody needs to go to the extremes, because once you got it down, I think you can just, do your cheating. That's what I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's it. Once you've got it down, once you know how to do all those things like the detox, the sports, etc., after that, you can do whatever you want, because you know how to get back immediately, and
Right.
that indeed, I don't drink alcohol at all anymore, but also red wine, for example. One glass of red wine is really good. It's well, good wine. I mean, not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it does have benefits, and it definitely, I don't know. For me though, again, you have to reward yourself
Yes.
during your fasting or during your dieting and stuff like that. I don't know, something else. Oh yeah, okay. But I don't know. What else do you want to chat about, lady?
Well, the mental health, actually, because that's
Sure.
another aspect of sports that benefits you. So have you had periods where maybe you were mentally unstable? Say it like that. I had, I mean, but
Well, I mean, we all have our seasons in life where, we have to rein ourselves in mentally and invest in ourselves and improve our mental health. Like we have something at my work where if we can actually tell our boss, hey, look, I need a mental day, and
really,
yeah, so I can say I need a mental day off because it's very stressful at work, and they will actually give you the next day off so you can work on yourself mentally for your mental health.
they should
And
that do that everywhere.
yeah, I mean, it does make a difference. It,
It
it's
does.
when you bombard yourself. I mean, look at this movement and look at look at all the information that comes out in real time on Twitter, and the speed in which we're digesting all of this information. I mean, it's a lot, and a lot of people, you know, will go either one way or another. You take care of yourself or you don't, or you go to drinking, or your mental health starts taking a toll. And you really have to start thinking about investing in yourself and taking care of yourself. And I mean, like Red Pill, for instance, he's on vacation all this week, and
Good
you
for
need
him.
that. Yeah, you need that away time, you need that vacation time. And um you know
I
Brandy
agree.
self says, it's exhausting, and she's right. This stuff gets exhausting, and sometimes you just have to put the phone down. You just have to put the computer away, take a day or two, and then come back to it refreshed and recharged, for sure.
Well, this is what I constantly hammer on, because, I think that is one of the most important things, because this is for the long haul. You cannot uh, keep up if you're not take care of yourself,
Hmm.
physically, mentally, and this is what, because actually I think this whole movement is a top sports as well.
Say that one more time. The sports now.
That this whole movement is a top sport as
Oh,
well.
is it? Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
it seems like it, doesn't it?
it does, because really, literally, we use every part of our being in this. So
Yeah.
mentally, like your brain is being stretched to the limit, eh, which has all sorts of consequences if you do
So
not take care of it.
this
What's
is
that?
this is like for my mental health when I have to deal with this crap. So we were talking about supplements, and I mentioned caffeine. Well, this is my caffeine. So I have these little caffeine shots here that I take.
Is that like a
And
bit of a Red Bull kind of thing?
no. It's basically um, caffeine and niacin. Niacin
Oh,
actually lowers your cholesterol.
I
So
have
if you
the supplement from that.
yeah, it'll give you a little bit, it'll give you an itch. You'll be, walking around like, doing that crap. But sometimes if you take too much niacin, but yeah, so I
Oh,
say supplements, but when you look at caffeine or pre-workout or that sort of thing, and you had mentioned, you take stuff for your estrogen or whatever, that those sorts of things are cool. Those are fine. But I'm about to break this open right now, I won't lie. Just because, you know, we're talking about mental health. So so my day starts here at 4 a.m. Um, with animals and babies and
mm,
everything, getting ready for work. And then I basically sit at this desk right now for 16 hours, 12 to 16 hours working. And at the same time, I do the Twitter and the Q stuff simultaneously. And then, we go live at night. So it ends up being, 18 hours, 19 hours of, mental stress.
and on
And
top of that, you have the kids at home because of the
oh,
lockdown.
oh yeah, well, right now, yeah, but I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. They're at home at the moment. They're in between grades right now. It's actually their summer break.
Oh,
So so they are at home. I mean, so at lunch, I'm fixing them food, fixing them breakfast in the morning while I'm doing all this as well. And it takes a huge toll. And that's why, like, doing this live stream stuff, so many people have really, come to my, aid in a sense, and just really have my back, including you. And I appreciate it. But, everybody in the chat, that's been there. It's been a very long, hard road. And, being able to come talk to everyone is sort of like my pick me up. It's a pick me up for me to be able to come and chat and unwind with everybody. It's really nice.
I find that now too, actually, in the same way. Well, I was
Cheers.
completely, hey, cheers. I was completely like isolated, always alone, doing everything by myself. I never had help or whatever.
Right.
But now that I actually started this channel, which I did mainly for myself to get out of my comfort zone, but
Right.
I'm now 7 months in, right? Well, yeah, 7 months. And the change, I mean, if I look at my first video and now, it's like I'm so comfortable now with people. Actually, I miss people now when I mean, who would have thought? But I now catch up with it. Well, for every other people, they are already used to social life, working
Sure.
life. That I didn't have that at all. I had nothing, and for me, that was comfortable. That was my comfort zone. So with having a channel, I went out of that comfort zone. But now I find myself just needing to talk to people and seeing them because I miss them, and just like you say, and for me that is all new. So
Yeah. That's
but
awesome.
I do recognize so well what you're saying, because I went like live last week for the first time, and I'm already addicted because it's like, oh, I need to catch up with, I want to see what,
That's
eh,
right. You're catching up with your peeps, man.
yes, yes,
You
yes.
know.
It's like
I
we're big
mean,
family.
yeah. I mean, and I tell you, and I mean this with the most seriousness. Um, this also too for me is, you know, um, a godsend. It's divine intervention for me,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's a mission that even everyone in the chat, I think them being in the chat, them being on Twitter, us being here doing what we're doing, to me it's a calling at this point. And that's why we can't get enough when we're like, oh my God, I gotta go talk to we got to talk about this, we got to get this news out, we got to do
But
all
also,
these things. And go
besides the
ahead.
news, right, it's also your own personal life and mine, because of your, after all, you do share that stuff.
Right.
And and because if everybody would go on YouTube, everybody would do that, but not everybody's made for that. However, I see here KB, who says these are our therapy sessions. It's so true. It's so true. And not just for us, because we are now on the screen and we are the ones talking, but I love to interact with the chat.
Yeah, I tell you, the way that life is right now, the way that social distancing and all of this craziness is right now, and the Brooklyn way, absolutely, you lose friends in this movement, people that are liberals that just don't understand. The dynamic of people's lives are changing, and
Yeah.
so we really, when we say we really enjoy the people in the chat and we enjoy the people that are creators and stuff like that, it really is a great community. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, it's great.
I think in a way, everybody's life has been altered in a better way, even before that whole awakening thing, compared to that awakening thing, because somehow you're much closer to complete strangers in a way that is compassionate, and that is,
Yeah.
And I had an epiphany yesterday. So I had one of those videos where I was talking about the taboo around traumas, addiction, whatever, that used to be like, oh, you're a psychiatry person, patient, or you're an addict, so you're weak, or you're, you're out of society, kind of thing. Well, now I discovered, because I took the initiative to actually talk about my shit.
Right.
Yeah, I said it. So, and being open about it, because I've done that for 25 years, and therefore I have nothing to hide anymore. I dealt with most of the stuff, and I think that I can pay it forward by, giving people advice of what I learned, because I had to do it all on my own. I had to figure out everything on my own, because I didn't have the proper help, because you cannot rely on the medical system or whatever when you really need them. However, I had this epiphany, and I figured, because of the videos that I did and the opening up about traumas, addictions, and whatever, that people are getting more open about theirs too, and it becomes less of a taboo, which in return, makes for people to heal faster as well.
Yeah, I agree. The healing and nurturing is a huge part of all this, in my opinion. Absolutely.
Probably the biggest part is when it comes to it, because after all, I mean, really, all the things like deep state, that evolves, and that will continue anyway. We still keep doing our fights, our meme wars, and research and all that. But I think the biggest part in here, for now, for everybody that is still suffering some form or another, to focus on that maybe a bit more, because eventually we get to the point where everything, it will be well, and then we can take care of ourselves, and when we take care of ourselves, we have more, it will be all the better when it's all over.
Sorry, I had I was waiting on some Ghislaine Maxwell intel.
Oh.
And they were just sending me stuff, so don't mind me.
Drop it, spill it.
Well, I mean, so basically what's happening right now is the victims' lawyers are out speaking now, and they've gotten information on what the feds are expecting from Maxwell, and also they're telling me that what else? Shit, hold on. We'll look at my phone real quick. Okay. Yeah. That's right. So, but basically, they're absolutely making a deal, and they are going after some big fish because they told Maxwell that her sentence was going to be 35 years, and so she's going to be able to get that down actually below 10 if she gives them some big folks. And from what I understand, the word that was used is she has the keys to the safe, is what I was is the stuff I saw.
Who do you
So
think?
we'll what
Who do you think the big one will be?
I think our you know I think everybody we think, I think you're looking at, Clinton's, you're looking at, you got to remember too that what a lot of us are digging on, like RDoc and all of us on the back end right now.
Yeah.
I think TikTok is as well, but what we're digging on right now is the Maxwell Epstein connection to the Iran Contra situation and Saudis and also Israel. There's a lot of connections to all of that we're discovering, and I think not only are you going to see Andrew, the Clintons, and possibly others, I think, and the people on that list, I think you're going to start seeing some people in government positions in different countries start being involved. I understand that UK is pretty, they are pretty interested in getting names themselves. So it's not going to be just US for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be UK and
Well, that's
others.
it. This whole thing is will be has an impact worldwide,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that if that doesn't create an awakening, for everybody, I don't know what will, because you know
Well, like Q said, this arrest will let you know which direction this is going, and I think what we're going to see next with this, and actually, I was told in the next couple of weeks we're going to see a couple more arrests. That they've already got a couple of names that they're going to go ahead and arrest people that
openly.
we don't know about. But so shit, I lost my train of thought. But so yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see it, and we're gonna oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. So then what's coming up next is what you're gonna start seeing is with SDNY, you're gonna start finding out about the laptop soon. You're gonna start finding out about Clinton Foundation. All of that is gonna start coming out. Yeah, Maxwell and Epstein are connected to Libya as well. Yeah, running guns and all that.
They have their
All that
fingers
good stuff.
everywhere, huh?
Yep.
What was up with that UN picture? I didn't even know about that.
What's that?
Maxwell being involved in the UN.
So yeah. So she was speaking about the she was trying to be an ambassador for the ocean because she is a submarine pilot and she is a like ocean lover and this and another. But what we're wondering is if that organization and that whole oceans thing was a slush fund, just a way to launder money. But we're not 100% sure. We're digging on a lot of stuff right now on the back end. You see a lot of these. I mean, even you and I chat about info as it comes in, and so a lot of the people I speak to is Methods and Red Pill and Tootsie and a few others. We're RDoc, a lot of TikTok. A lot of us are behind the scenes. I mean, literally all day long looking at information and vetting it before we put it out on Twitter and stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, yeah, that's where the great info comes from, and I like that a lot because people should working together like that with all the skills they have and the resources is very important. But many people don't know this. They think that
Yeah.
we are all searching for our news and everything just online, etc. But obviously, in this movement, there are many people that do have access to certain resources and or
I have a lot of toys, honey. I have a lot of fun toys.
not the same toys I have, though.
No, probably not. Mine don't need batteries, but the okay, we won't go there. But anyway,
We're not
but
going
yeah,
there.
so yeah, I mean, it's amazing the open source resources that are out there that we can get to. I mean, even the OSI framework that I was showing folks. I mean,
I love it.
and like different connections you have, with people sending you things and all of that. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes. Have you been digging in that again?
Yeah. I had been looking at stuff the entirety. I don't, and that's another thing too. I want to make sure that people know too, that see this video. If you send me something to dig on and to look at, if you have not heard from me, if you've not heard back from me, that usually means I have not found anything. If I go on a dig for you or say, hey, I'm going to look at it, I definitely look at it. And if it's a nothing burger, I just won't say anything because I have to jump to the next thing. And then, but if I do find something, I'll definitely share whatever it is that I find with whoever sent it out, or I'll definitely give them a hat tip.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, I do get that intel from here in Europe, some stuff. So I send it to him just to be clarifying what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Interesting things. But yeah, and it's interesting because many people don't know that, that we get all sorts of intel. Many people get intel or, wherever they come from countries. And so, we've got Whitehead that can dig.
Yeah, I mean, some of the toys I have are amazing. I just can't use them,
Yeah.
for stuff that I'm doing outside of, work. And, I mean, you would be amazed that, I could find any person on the planet, to be honest with, if I wanted
I
to.
wish I
But
had those tools.
yeah, but well, the only thing is, I mean, it sounds great, but every move you make with it is watched and logged. And if you, I mean, just look at the whole FISA stuff. They know everything that happened with what each person did with the unmasking. They have a list of everything. They know everything that's, trust me, it's the same way with me.
Well, yeah, I
And
work in
so,
IT, so I know
yeah,
how that goes. I worked with engineers and
there you
worldwide,
go.
and so yeah, everything is logged. Like literally, it's not like you can just go for your own fun. Well, maybe the fun thing is good, but if you go in dangerous territory, yeah.
Yeah, so like Miracle Girly, she's my homegirl, she's my buddy. So she says, so why do I bother being anonymous? Trust me, it's just I look at it, okay, like you remember the whole Batman cartoon where the Justice League was there and they found out that Batman had a contingency plan for everyone. Um, you know, he had everyone's weakness and knew what everyone's weaknesses because he wanted to, just in case something were to happen. Well, people that I speak with that on a regular basis, I do vet them 100%. I know just about everything about anybody that I speak to online for the most part, content providers, all this stuff. But I don't, but the thing is being anonymous is an important thing. And luckily I'm in government, and so I've taken an oath and I have a clearance. There's absolutely no way that I would ever cross a line or do anything ill-mannered or anything along those lines. And so could I go and find out who somebody is, for instance, in the chat? Yeah, I could find out who you are, your your relatives, and probably even find out your dog's name. But that's not in the the spirit of what we're, you know, what we are and what we're doing. Like, so if somebody even sends me a donation, I have it to where I don't allow myself to see the name. I only look at the name on like the YouTube page where it has the username. So, you know, there's people that try to dox people and this and the other, and you really don't want to do that. You know, you really don't. And, you know, it's dangerous for some people that, say, for instance, someone like me, you know, they could come after me and try to get information, you know, that's government, you know, stuff like that. So it is what it is. Sorry, I didn't mean to go down that road, but I just kind of went down a street there.
Yeah, well, you're vulnerable then. Well, I'm vetted by
Right.
Whitehead, so I don't know what he looked up, but there's nothing much to find anyway. But yeah, you know, I think it's important when you have you know, a job like that. You need to protect yourself, which is logic.
Yeah, and for instance, during the COVID stuff, our agency, I deal with three different agencies that I work for. But the main one I work for, we had 1.8 million hits trying to infiltrate our networks.
Whoa.
And that's just in one. And that's just during like the 6-month period. And so people are out there and they just desperately, you know, like the Joker, they just want to screw things up and watch the world burn. And, you know, and it's a tough thing, but, you know, when
it's serious business, you know, and also, well, getting back to that, I mean, many people underestimate how, you know, elaborated this all is. And well, I guess by now we're in that far where most people know, but for example, people that just woke up,
right.
they still have no clue how, you know, how deep this goes and how much there is. And so, and this is another thing why I think it's also important to take care of those that are newly awake, because, you know, the faster they understand how deep these rabbit holes goes and how important it is to have that change and make them part of the movement, you know, to participate, uh, like you said, as well, you know, that we are part of this awakening.
Yeah, it's quite a time, quite a thing to be a part of. I mean, this operation is, I mean, it's just unbelievable, and no generation in the history of our country has ever really been a part of this sort of thing. And I say this country, but the world is worldwide. But so let me rephrase that. You know, no time in this world has there been a time where we've had a movement and an operation like this before. It's unique, definitely unique.
It is, but well, but you know, like the way that we come together, the way and worldwide, you know, is so. I think it's the best time to be alive, no matter the stress that comes with it, and you know, all these things that we encounter, uh, you know, but this is kind of, I mean, I think we haven't been closer as a people, you know, worldwide, like
Right.
we are in this great awakening now at this moment, you know, that in itself is very unique.
So here's something to kind of come off of that a little bit. So when you look at Q post, I think it's 64, it mentions that POTUS's Twitter page would be taken down, and then it says, "I must leave for good." Right? I don't have it pulled up. Are you looking at it?
Let me get it.
All right.
64, you said?
I believe it's 64.
Yes. Fellow patriots, I'm being advised actions have created accelerated counteractions. We have not yet ascertained the scope of the attack. Watch the news outlets. POTUS Twitter takedown was not by accident. Oh, I remember that day. As referenced several hours ago, he was taken down at that time. Should the lights go out, please know we are in control. Do not panic. We are prepared and assets are in place. God bless. I must go for good at this point.
All right. So something I want to pose to you. I believe this is a future proves past Q post. I believe there's a running theory right now that Twitter will take down POTUS's Twitter account right at election night. And so if then you go to the other Q post that mentions red 1 and red 2.
You don't remember?
You just have to do a search. Let me see.
Wait, what did you say? Red?
Just do red 1.
Underscore, right?
No, just do red and then 1. The number 1.
Right, got it. Oh.
All right, Rook, here you go. There you go. There you go. She's like, take a shirt off. Rook, I'm gonna get you, girl. You don't like this Harvard shirt? No, I'm not talking about rig for red. Not that one, Brooklyn. There's one that says it'll have like red 1, red 2, that sort of thing.
Wait, but it doesn't tag somehow.
Okay, I'll look at it.
Sometimes it doesn't work on the Q map, huh?
It's okay. I'll get it real quick. Hold on. Red 1. Oop. Let me spell it right. All right. I think I'm on the Q alert. It's actually off but a couple of numbers. It's like 4415 or 44 or something. I can't remember which number it is. So it says red 1 is POTUS Twitter removal. Red 2, Central Communications blackout, continental US. Now, once red 2 takes effect, when it talks about a blackout, that's when the Q team is saying they have to go for good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it says red 3, classified movement, Pelosi or Pence. And what that tells me is that if Pelosi or Pence are somewhere out and about during the election night, say they're doing whatever, they will have to go get them and take them to safety because it'll seem like there's an attack on the White House, perhaps. Red 4, movement of military assets, and they bring in the Marines to a central location. So, and it goes on it goes on to red 5, red 6, and then Castle Rock. Castle Rock is actually a boat.
Really?
Yeah, it's a boat. So, okay, so they're saying 4415. Son of a green card says
4414.
4414. Okay, it's different on mine. It's probably different on. I don't know why it comes up different on others.
It starts with EAM loyalists.
Yeah, so that's enterprise I think enterprise application management loyalists.
Red 1, POTUS Twitter removal. Red 2, Central Communication blackout, continental US.
So look at 64. All right, at I think it's post 64.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Got it. POTUS Twitter takedown.
All right, what is the date on that?
3 November 2017.
That's not the one I was looking for. Well, anyway, there's a 3-year delta. I think I posted it on Twitter today.
Wait a minute, November 3rd, isn't that election day?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. So November 3rd is election day. It'll be a 3-year delta.
Exactly.
On the exact day.
So, but that makes sense.
Yep.
So that you think that will happen? Well, obviously this election then.
Yes, Jenny, it was Castle Rock was a boat. It was actually given to, I don't know if it was given to South Korea or Vietnam, but that is the same one. Yes.
Oh, but that makes sense. You think that's the last day of Q as well?
I believe that if we're going by what they're saying, once there's a blackout at that point, that tells me that yeah, that'll be it for Q posts.
But
And quite possibly the public operations side for that.
But what would be the difference for an election night anyway? Because at the end of the day, that's when everything is already kind of decided, no?
Right. But what you're going to see, you've already seen it, a potential attack on the White House. So what's going to happen is when they find out, or when they get word that POTUS is winning again,
yeah. That's when, that's also the moment that he will be like safe, insulated in the Air Force One.
Right. Well, so if anyone tries to attack the White House or whatever, think about what they would need to do, and say he gets kicked off of Twitter. Okay, so what they then would have to do is they would have to make sure that the vice president and the third in line for the presidency, which is Pelosi, would have to be moved to a secure location during that time. So to me, it sounds like they are expecting an attack on the White House or rioting once POTUS wins his second term. But it does say that they have everything already in place, and they have they have assets in place, and everything will be all right, that they're expecting it.
Yeah, well, but that's it. I keep saying that as well when people get all upset and all. I mean, you have said it so many times. It's a movie we're watching. We already won. And
right.
So they're already prepared for everything that's happening. Like like you actually said in the last video about Ghislaine. Yes, it's already done. And the same for this. They already prepared, they already have it all down, and so and that's another reason why I never stressed it much, because I just trust that plan. Also, what else have we got?
Right. I mean, like people have to remember 3 different girls came out the same time Epstein was arrested and called out for Maxwell's arrest. Exactly. And so they've had her pegged for this whole year. You think it was an accident that it was almost the exact same weekend after a year that they did this? Come on, give me a break.
No, but I see this over and over and over and over again. And this is why people shouldn't be too worried. Yes, there are protests, and yes, things are getting destroyed. It's but I mean, it's all to be expected. This is a war, or you could see it as a game, and this is also why I think that Trump is actually able to cope, because if you, like I said this in another video, if he approaches everything like a game, right, then you can expect you're going to be attacked left and right. Now, what do you do in a game when you're going to be when you expect to be attacked? You are on your alert. However, it won't
affect him or whatever,
affect you that much when you are already prepared. Hence, right. That is a huge diminishing of stress. And so, because it's when you do not expect it is when you get stressed, and when you do not know what to do is when you get stressed. But if you have everything in plan, or everything is in place, set, and sure, there can be here and there unexpected stuff, but I think the main the main thing is that it's already set not in stone, but that plan is down. And so I think that is why he can actually manage to cope with this.
All right. That's why he has the energy he has. Just real quick. So somebody in the chat, Brooklyn Way, asked about if I had any sauce on the shooter from the Marine base. Yeah, actually, they knew what was going on at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. The guy accidentally shot himself. It was an accident. There wasn't a shooter, but they didn't know what they didn't know. I think it was reported as an active shooter, but my point of contact with them said that it was a dude that accidentally his gun went off on accident.
Mm. But was it? I mean, that was something innocent then.
Yeah, it was. They just, you know how it is on Twitter. Somebody's shooting. I mean, you're going to be like, "Oh, active shooter." Everybody's like, "Oh shit, here we go, false flag."
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
everybody's tripping out.
I don't even bother anymore.
Yeah, no, he is okay. He's alive. It's I laugh. I'm not laughing at the situation, but it'd probably be my luck. Some shit will happen like that to me. I'd like shoot myself in the butt cheek or some crap. And this is a Marine base. Imagine how much crap he's going to get. You know what I mean? They're going to be making fun of him for a minute, boy.
Yeah, that guy can't doesn't have a life anymore now.
Yeah, they're going to
It
get him.
makes me think of that shooter that wanted to shoot this animal with all these scales, but then that scale was so hard and it bounced back straight at the guy that actually shot it. I found it.
Yeah, I love those videos. So hey, Keystone, we got 10 minutes to 9 o'clock, unless you want to just keep chatting. I don't really care. So hey, listen, let me put something out there too. And since I'm on here and you guys are actually seeing myself for the first time, whatever, I want to make sure I say this. Listen, look in the description here. Let me get it copied here. I'm going to tell you, Keystone really works really hard. And one thing that people don't realize is you have to change your hours and your schedule to accommodate hours. Like, what time is it where you're at right now?
2:52 a.m.
It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning where she's at. And here she is looking all sexy and awake and nice for everybody here in the chat. And you wouldn't know that if you looked at her. It was 3 o'clock in the damn morning.
Well,
so do me a favor, guys. Listen, for real, please consider donating to Keystone and helping her out a little bit. What you're helping her out with her effort, and it also gives someone some energy when you help out with PayPal and all of that. And she's here for everybody's benefit, helping everybody out every day. And people message her left and right asking for help, and she gives this free advice out that you would probably pay thousands of dollars for at a shrink or nutritionist or something like that. And it's not that this is the reason why I bring this up today. Somebody made a comment to me that I was only in this for money.
Really?
That I was only streaming because I wanted money. And I mean, that I kind of scratched my head. I'm like, is that what people really think? I mean, surely not. I mean, I'm out here busting my ass every day.
Like, you have not a busy day enough,
I know, I'm really not. And I'm, I did this sort of thing to help with the SUV, and I thought it was a cool thing to see if people wanted to help and donate, for sure. But we don't do this for money. We do this because we feel like it's, God is putting us in this to help people and to be there for as many people as we can. And, I want to just let people know for sure, if you feel it in your heart, definitely donate, because it's tough to do this sometimes. And it's very nerve-wracking to go and put yourself out there, on blast like this. I mean, you're really opening yourself up to people, and it's really not an easy thing to do.
Well, I was just thinking and talking and brainstorming about that today, somewhere in between the sleeps that I do, because I sleep in stages. But I was thinking, when I was like struggling a lot with my health and everything, which I've done for 25 years and had to figure out everything by myself. And then I went into alternative and counseling stuff that, but they were so overpriced. It was ridiculous.
Right.
And everybody in those situations, they cannot afford it because you're in trouble. And so you're not able to function properly, let alone go to work. Now, I figured out, like, I think that should be accessible for everybody. And so I'm busy brainstorming about setting up a website where I can have all sorts of modalities of therapies and things for people that is financially accessible without
Sure.
these ridiculous high prices. And I think that is very, very important. And I want to invest in that because I've been down this road for 25 years, struggling and doing it all by myself. The whole reason I don't have children is because I needed to invest in my health. And I couldn't, I didn't have space for a life next to
Right.
that.
And but see, and that's my point is you are taking, it's not like this is just a hobby. I mean, this is more than that. And this is a part of your life, is helping people and nurturing people and stuff like that. And we definitely all have each other's back. And, I just really wanted to let people know what you're sacrificing. And, I want everybody to see, yeah, we're cutting up and having a good time and we're talking about these healthy things and this and the other, but I mean, you're a real person out there busting ass trying to bring knowledge to people in a very turbulent time. And and that's the reason why I'll put the PayPal link out there, and certainly I hope everybody feels in their heart to help you out a little bit.
Well, this is also why I do this, because I don't want people to go down this long, long road the way that I've done it. And whatever I learned, I can teach other people or advice so they don't have to go through that long road. Because
Right.
I know, and all these hermits out there and everybody isolating, I see it, I know it, I've been there, and we all struggle. And so it's so important, I think, for me, it's my mission to help people not to have to go through the same thing that I had to go through for 25 years, 24/7, only working on myself.
Right. I
And
mean, I used to charge $700 a month just for the nutrition part. That's
you,
not even the gym part,
yeah, yeah,
and I'm not licensed. I mean,
yeah.
I have degrees come out of my ears, but I'm not licensed to do that. And so hell, if you're actually going to a doctor, or if you're going to somebody, a mental health professional and stuff, I mean, imagine if you didn't have insurance, or imagine if you're having to, what do you do if don't have the means, how do you find your way? And so, so
Yes.
that's awesome to be able to come out on here and reach out to a lot of people and go into the chat and answer questions. I mean, I learn something every day looking at people's comments in the chat. I mean, they help me out. You know what I mean?
True, true. Because you know what? It works like this. If you help somebody else, you help yourself at the same time. And so it's
Right.
not per se about money, but yeah, I do live on welfare. I do struggle, and badly, actually, but I never, I'm so used to actually do everything by myself. So I never tell the stuff that's going on. Um, but this also keeps me going because it gives me hope, and I love seeing people getting better. There is someone in the chat that has a great progress in uh the things that I help her with. And it's amazing to see that, because everybody deserves to have a life, and I'm at 50, my life is just starting for the first time, really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I need to stay sexy and good looking. Otherwise,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I got to get back to the gym and grow my boobs. I think I got to get working on this thing. I look like a doughboy right now. But
Still
we'll get it working for everybody.
if I
Maybe
may.
we'll do this. We'll definitely do this more often, and maybe talk about progress and
Yes,
I don't know.
yes, because that's another thing. Like me and Whitehead, we're starting training together, like separately but together, so we can actually be each other's motivation body. Plus, he can teach me all the tricks. So that's another good thing. But doesn't mean we cannot share them as well. And so that's great. So we can all go with a challenge, maybe. Who knows what comes up?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly we might have some people that might want to jump in all that and see if they can lose. I mean, even if it's something small, like 5 pounds in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
or 3 pounds in 2 weeks, and then just say, hey, wait a minute, and then after a while, after a few months, you're like, wait a minute, I've lost 20 pounds. Holy smokes, or something like that.
Yeah, let's all
Take
do
it
it.
easy, Ray. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, well, thank you so much all for being here. Next time I will actually expand on that detox that I did and all the beauty products for the women out there. Definitely will do that in the next week when I do a new episode, which will be every Wednesday from now on. So, and obviously more of things regarding mental health and how to, cope with it. So thank you so much all for being here and for the support. And I hope you all enjoyed this conversation. And I'm sure Whitehead will be back again with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun. We had a good conversation, and I love everybody in the chat. You know who you are. I mean, I don't want to name everybody because, to be honest with you, I'm buddies with just about every single one of you. So, I love you guys, and maybe I'll go live sometime this week. I'm not real sure. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants with this stuff. So maybe Friday, maybe, I don't know. But y'all have a great night, and love y'all. And thank you so much for listening to us cut up.
Yeah, I'm going to cut it up. Thank you. Peace out all. You still here?